back with more Angel. This is episode 14 of season 5. Very excited, as always, to see what's going to happen next. In particular, excited for this episode because I'd not long moved in here, so I think it was around June time. I got sent a parcel, a big ass parcel. I'm looking at it right now. It's been under the desk for basically the length of time that I've lived here, which has been 6 months now. So I got I got the parcel, and on it is written, "Do not open until you've seen Angel 514." So I've been anxiously awaiting getting to this episode, kind of like desperately waiting for the opportunity to present itself. So I got up early today to edit episode 13 and get that out on YouTube. So that would therefore give me the time I would have spent doing that later on today, free to actually film the reaction to this, because I want to see what's in that box. Because it was so tantalisingly close, I caved and kind of wanted to film a day earlier than I was supposed to. So here we are. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next. Last episode we had some submarine shenanigans. We had an old acquaintance of Angel's coming back into his life in the present day, causing some trouble, the usual. And yeah, some interesting kind of exploration of themes there, I felt, in regards to Angel and his mission and what Lawson was going through as well. But yeah, we're kind of knuckling down now. We're into the single digits left episode-wise for Angel, which is very sad. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with this next episode and what on earth it ties into something that I've been sent. So yeah, let's get into it. This is Angel, isn't it?
Oh, good. She's gone. Okay, Tommy. You know what to do. That's it.
Oh, so this is why he's sick?
I don't want you watching that crap while they're
That is fucking horrendous. Puppets again.
Right.
Oh, God.
Could be the Joker.
Now that would be a plot twist.
Just trying to think outside the box.
Outside the Knox, huh? Do I know you? I feel like I recognise you.
Full moon cycle starts tonight in 38 minutes, actually. Had a little snag getting out of the house.
Ah, is it Werewolf Lady?
You sent them a motion for change of venue instead of a motion to dismiss. Unless you meant to do that. Some kind of...
Yeah, he's kind of glitching, isn't he?
That it?
The simulation's got a bug.
What are you doing for breakfast tomorrow?
Oh boy.
Drinking blood.
I have no time for that kind of... I have no right. I mean, look, we all know what happens if...
If what? If you achieve a moment of perfect happiness?
I turn back into Angelus.
Yes.
I don't want that.
And let's not forget, Cordelia just died, so...
Angel, if there's a woman out there who you find truly attractive, who you think about, let's say,
Yeah,
most of the time,
he's frustrated about Fred
part of what
taking it out on Angel.
he's realized Nina has feelings for him.
Took long enough.
He can be rather dense.
My car is in the shop again, and I was thinking
Of course.
maybe you and we could...
Oh.
Yes, Miss Burkle needs a driver to take me out.
Wesley, you're being dense.
It's in the right time slot, the right demographic. What's it called? Smile time.
Yes. Wow. That's a guy who loves his job. Kids TV is actually quite creepy, really, isn't it? When you get a bit older and look back at it. Oh, hello. Oh! At least the boxes were there. Shut the fuck up. No. 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 Shut up.
Oh, there's
This is the best thing they've ever done.
Maybe some type of puppet cancer.
I do not have puppet cancer. Come on, guys. This is a serious situation. I'm a
We need to find the puppet master.
Self-esteem is for everyone.
His little face. I can't.
Self-esteem is how you get it done.
He's so grumpy. He's so grumpy.
This condition of mine, it's classified until further notice. Okay?
I tell fucking everyone. Oh my god, I need Spike to see him. Good message though, Smart Time, well done. Shame about the, you know, this.
Hey, big guy. Need another car. Afraid this last one ended up in the drink. Spike, look at you. You're a bloody puppet.
Oh god, I laughed so hard it buffered.
You're a wheeling puppet, man.
What is going on?
Ow! Hey, that's enough.
Yeet.
Angel, what the hell happened to you?
Oh,
Ridiculous.
Get out of here.
I'm having the time of my life.
What do you people
I've got no strings to hold me down. Look at him go.
We're gonna let the entire world know what you're up to.
up to? Gentlemen, I bring joy and laughter to children. You bring tax exemptions to nasty
He's also
corporations.
bringing joy and laughter to me in a way, so.
Which one of you short bus bastards turned the CEO of Wolfram and Hart into a puppet? What do you mean it wasn't us?
Ratio's right, man.
And instead of draining one brat's life force at a time, we can take out our whole demographic in one fell swoop.
So tomorrow's gonna be a pretty big show, huh?
The biggest.
These are some evil
Is that
puppets.
working on this? Let me die.
Oh,
Christ.
stand, talk to the
Oh, God. It's awful.
Oh,
I was turned into a puppet last night.
are you okay?
I made it felt. And my nose comes off.
It's nice that she asked how he felt about it.
The vampire thing's kind of sexy.
It all sounds good. But that's not how I feel.
I know.
Because you're a puppet.
That's what I like about you.
I'm paying better attention to
Oh!
No! No, Nina! Bad Nina!
The stuffing.
Is there a Geppetto in the house?
Oh my god.
You were given that upgrade because the senior partners wanted you to have it. And if you're losing it, well, they wanted that too.
Why would they do that?
Oh.
I can't lose this. This power, these skills, they changed me.
Yeah, he thinks that's all he has now.
Maybe.
That's what his worth is.
I always have a few things going on the side. Currently, I have a lot of capital sunk into a shipment that's being held up at custom. If I was to give you the permanent upgrade, I'd say that you'd be more than able to cut through all of my red tape problems.
I don't make deals with people like you.
Oh dear.
Charles, I don't make deals with people like you.
Seriously, go home.
Yeah, go home, Knox. Hmm.
I'm not really looking for so much as looking.
Hang on.
Oh. God damn it, plot advancement.
A repository for the children's life force. We'll have to break the binding magic on it.
Which should free those children and reverse your puppet problem.
Look, you guys.
Frampkin's not doing this. It's the puppets. They're demons. The show is possessed. Small Time's ratings hit an all-time low last year. Frampkin made a deal with some devils to bring them back to #1.
You sure of that?
That's
Ah, okay.
contract signed with the lower planes is filed in the Library of Demonic Congress. Frampkin must have missed some of the
Yeah,
fun.
Gunn made the deal, didn't he? Oh, I love that they're just going for it with how dramatic it is. I Buffy's got a puppet-sized sword.
It's smile time!
No, it's not. It's time to kick your ass all the way back to hell.
You!
You're ruining the show!
Working on it.
This is madness. Whoa! Oh! That's right.
You got a little demon in you.
I got a lot of demon in me. Now come on.
Amazing.
What are you doing for breakfast?
What do puppets eat?
Let's find out.
This is so bizarre.
Haven't you been sensing anything lately about me, coming from me? Oh, screw it.
Yes! Yes!
Demons for everyone.
I really like those two together.
Dream and be anybody.
I mean, it means certain doom, but, you know, for now, yay! Oh my god. Holy shit. That's amazing. Okay. I can't believe they made, like, proper toys of it as well. Smile Time Vampire Angel Puppet Replica. So I imagine there's, like, a standard one and then the vampire face one, maybe? Oh my god, they, like, officially made a half-scale replica. 14 plus. This is not a toy. Handmade puppet replica is limited to 10,000 pieces worldwide and is 4,776 of 10,000. That is insane. Look at that. Should we get him out? This is like the best thing ever. Oh my, look at it. Thank you so much to whoever sent me this. I don't think there was like a note or anything on the package. So whoever it was who sent me this, thank you so much. This is incredible. Look at him. Look at his little vampire face. Ooh. So the actual thing's, I guess, double the size of this. So that's a lot of work that they put into making. They must have made like a couple of these then, if he had like vampire face versions and stuff. This is hilarious. I love this. I suppose I should talk about the episode now. I just want to go and hang out with my new best friend, but no. Stop it. Okay, it only felt right to be joined by my esteemed co-host and star of the show. He's basically going to be taking over the channel from now on. As we talk about this episode, I loved it. It was so much fun. Easily one of my favourites of the season so far. Man. Not what I was expecting when you go into it. You know, I mean, you know, Buffyverse shows I think often surprised you with some of their episodes and, you know, where the plot and stuff went, things that went down, things you saw. But yeah, I love that we had a puppet episode for both Buffy and Angel. I think this one's significantly better than Buffy's puppet episode. I'm just putting it out there. Not a big fan of the puppet show, but this was a lot of fun. I just don't know where to start, really. I'm just kind of distracted by all of this. But yeah, I love the idea of really leaning into how creepy I think kids' TV can be when you look back. As you know, I loved the Teletubbies growing up, and then I've got bloody puppet hair in my mouth. I like grew up on Teletubbies and stuff, and I love that. And I kind of look back on it now, I'm like, they're kind of creepy, you know. If you stare into a Teletubby's eyes for a bit too long, they're a bit scary. You know, I don't trust Tinky Winky. That's all I'm saying. I think he's got some dodgy dealings going on in the background, you know. But yeah, I like how they kind of lent into that. But at the same time, you know, there were some horrific moments with that. I think there were some good bits of like body horror when they were using the human as the puppet. You know, the puppet was using the human as its own puppet, puppetception. You know, that was horrific, and I like that they kind of went there with how horrendous that almost is. And the manipulation, going on with that, and you kind of assume like it's just this guy somehow using the puppets for his own gain, and it was for his own gain in the end, but the puppets were more so using him. He'd kind of given the control over to them, and yeah, I just like how this guy who just wanted to, wanted his failing show to do well, made this deal, but I guess his vision for what the show initially was, that wasn't very popular, had to be manipulated and changed by higher ups, or demon puppets in this case, and became something quite horrendous behind the scenes, even though it's all like hunky-dory on screen. As far as most people are aware, there's some real sinister elements going on, which I think is very true to a lot of productions, as things come to light, etc. So kind of ahead of its time in a sense with that commentary on, the sinister truth behind a fluffy, happy show. Very, very meta if you, I guess, you consider the Buffyverse as well. But yeah, I really liked the idea behind that, and I thought, some of those visuals were really well done, and I guess the work put into making the puppets and stuff, they all looked so good, and like the animation of like the angel puppet walking along the corridor, I thought when we first saw him, climbing out of the boxes, he sat behind his desk, I was like, oh, okay, so he's just going to be like that for the whole episode. But we actually saw him walking about a bit. We saw him fight with Spike and fight with the other puppets at the end. I thought that was very impressively brought to life. And huge kudos to the cast, I think, for getting through all of that and taking it seriously, really going there with what the episode was going for. Because while it was a bit creepy at times and a bit like, oh my god, that's really dark, it was also fucking hilarious. And mad and bonkers and over the top, and they did go there with it at times. The music went there with it. The shot of Puppet Angel with the sword, like holding the sword like that with, the guys behind it, is bonkers, and it shouldn't work, but it did because they went there, and it's absolutely hilarious. I loved it, and it wasn't just like, ooh, tropey puppet episode. It's all, aren't we crazy? Come and watch our puppet episode. There's a purpose to it as well, because like we were talking about the commentary going on behind it as well, the fact that they did make it quite sinister, and alongside the whole puppet thing, it was kind of commentary on Angel and his struggle to have any romantic relationships and romantic connections with that, catching up with Nina, who obviously was set up in an episode earlier this season, so they brought that back into it, and the whole Fred and Wesley thing going on as well. Gunn had a little side story, which I was kind of what I was hoping they were giving him in the last episode. They actually did follow through with that, so it wasn't just a weird throwaway line when he kind of forgot some of his lawyer stuff in the last episode. They continued that on in this one, which I really liked. So yeah, there was a lot of development in there as well. It's not just like, oh yeah, just go ahead and skip that weird puppet episode. They actually made it essential, I think, to the story of the show, which I love. They really committed to it. They really owned the concept and, went 110% with it. And I think it really paid off. It was, oh my god, hilarious. Like the physical comedy behind some of it. I think James Masters in particular probably, that's probably quite tough to have a fight scene with a puppet and make it look somewhat realistic and like you're actually struggling to fight the puppets. Like, say with J. August Richards, I guess, when he was fighting one of the puppets in the final battle. It's a bit easier, I guess, with Wesley, because that was like a life-size just person in a suit puppet, wasn't it? The other one that he was fighting. So, it wasn't as, physical in that sense as like you have to believe that there's this strength to this tiny little puppet. So the fact that they had to kind of perform that, I thought they did a great job with it. It felt like it was really going on. Playing into Angel's insecurities about relationships and himself, how he's viewed. I really liked that, and bringing Nina back from early in the season, her whole werewolf deal and the connection between them. I mean, take or leave a relationship with them, to be honest. Especially so soon after the Cordelia episode, a couple of episodes back, it just feels like, salt in the wound almost, that, they're barely breathing, taking a breath before, he's contemplating a relationship with someone. It's nice that he is kind of moving forward in that sense, and he is trying to negotiate what a relationship could be, and like just getting breakfast or whatever. And I did like that conflict, and I liked that they brought Nina back into it, revisited that. Again, it just gives more credence, I guess, to her episode earlier in the season. It wasn't just like a one-off story. I think they even hinted in that episode that there may be more to the connection between them, and the fact that they did expand on that in this one was quite interesting. Turning into a werewolf and like nearly tearing the puppet apart as well. The kind of conflicts with that, and forcing Angel to face his kind of insecurities about that by making him not only feel very small, but literally he was very small as well. I liked how they handled that. Because Angel is very much not very open about his feelings a lot of the time. He's very closed off. He's very isolated, because that's kind of what he feels his purpose needs to be, and that's the life that he needs to live. And we saw Wesley at the start of the episode really pushing him to actually make a go of things with Nina, actually put himself out there with it and address it. And a lot of that came from, he wishes he could do that with Fred, but he himself, ironic as it was also completely oblivious that Fred actually was finally reciprocating those feelings, but he was completely clueless to it, and he was having a go at Angel for being clueless about what Nina was feeling. So I liked everything going on with that, and because this then happened to Angel, he had no choice but to confront it, and he was forced into that situation. Sometimes it's the only way Angel will grow as a character. And I think that is by choice and by design of how the character is. And sometimes the only way he can grow is by letting people in and interacting with people. Normally, when he's kind of forced into it, like Cordelia coming back a couple of episodes back, and she was the one kind of guiding him on this path and making some peace to what he was doing at Wolfram and Hart. And here, he's a puppet. He's got to sort that out. And in doing so, he needs to kind of face up to, some of his insecurities and stuff. So I loved everything with that. I thought it was really cool. And the idea of the demon puppets talking to kids, stealing their life force. I think the gist of it was they were going to steal the kids' life force or something, because it's like super innocent. They're all super innocent kids, apart from obviously that one from I've Got You Under My Skin, because that was a literal devil child. And then bottled it up and selling it in hell or something. It was something to make a profit out of it. And puppets, evil puppets, this is what they do. And I thought that idea was quite neat, and then kind of building strength over time, kind of making a deal with this guy to get his show up in the ratings. All of that I thought was a really interesting, very unique concept. It's not something you could do again, for sure. And I guess that's why they really went there with it, pushed it, and did absolutely everything they could with that concept. And I really think they delivered on it. They got the kind of gory, horror-esque elements down to it, with the hole in that guy's back, which I'm still thinking about. And then all the comedy of everyone's reactions, particularly Spike's reaction to Angel being the puppet, and just how the puppet and stuff was filmed anyway. I can't imagine this was easy to direct, because not only did you have Angel itself going on, you had the show within the show, because you also, I guess, were directing episodes of Smile Time and presenting that as this needs to be an authentic looking kids show, and then you break away from that at times when he's speaking to the kids, being touch the TV screen. So there's so many different layers and elements to this. There must have, a lot of hard work clearly went into this one. There's so many layers to it, and I think it really worked out well. I loved that so much. So yeah, that was all very well and good. Do kind of wish we got a bit more of Spike in this one. I think they could have done a bit more maybe with his reactions to it, or I don't know, maybe Spike got turned into a puppet as well. That'd be absolutely hilarious. I mean, I'd love to have seen all of them get turned into puppets, to be honest, but there's not time in an episode to do that, so it makes sense. And it's probably quite expensive if they wanted to make puppets of everyone. But yeah, what we did get of him and his reaction was gold. I loved their little fight, and just the little details. They went as far as, when he got attacked by Nina, the angel puppet then had scratches and scars, and his eyebrow was a bit torn off, and little things have been popping off his nose. It's so well realised and detailed. You can kind of see why they made proper replicas of it. I'm guessing this was a very popular episode if they made these. There must have been some sort of demand for it. I can see why it was popular if it was. So yeah, liked everything with that. And seeing Nina again was fun. How that tied into an Angel's arc. What else have we got? Oh, the gun story. I liked that. I felt a bit miffed with the last one when they seemed to hint at something with the gun, then just dropped it, and I was like, oh, maybe it was just he literally was just tired, and they were just, it was tying into that whole thing of them maybe being a bit, bored and not enjoying working at Wolfram and Hart at the minute, and to tie into the whole purpose angle that episode was going for. But it continued here. He's still forgetting stuff. And it's the idea that the senior partners maybe just don't want him to have that kind of stuff anymore, which I think is interesting, and I'm hoping we get a bit more exploration as to why that could be. But again, it brought out Gunn's insecurities. I think that was actually a big part of this episode. Insecurity was probably the big theme. We saw it with Angel, we saw it with Gunn, and the show itself, the puppet show, they had a whole song singing about self-esteem. That was kind of the big song for like the first half of the episode, at least, when they first were really getting their screen time. So there's a lot of kind of stuff about insecurity, which I thought was an interesting message for the episode to kind of get across. Because I think a good way of maybe dealing with some insecurities for some people would be to pass it on to someone else or something else. They can channel their insecurity into a puppet, and that gets the attention. When you're watching a ventriloquist or something, your eyes are on a puppet more so than the ventriloquist, so it's kind of like an actor going on stage. You put on a mask of someone else, and therefore your own insecurities are gone because you're playing someone else. That's at least what I've found, and that's why I've always enjoyed acting so much, because this sounds very depressing, but I enjoy it because I'm not me when I'm on stage, which doesn't sound great in retrospect, and I need to listen to that self-esteem song a bit more, I think, but I kind of like that an episode about puppets and, an entity that you're channeling your own energy into, but it's not about you. Having, that be the theme in like a puppet episode and what that could stand for, I think is a really interesting idea. So I loved everything with that. And yeah, Gunn, I assume he got all his knowledge back, so I'm guessing he made a dodgy deal with that guy to get all the stuff restored. So I'm guessing that's going to lead to an episode at some point, hopefully like a big Gunn-centric episode, because I don't think we've gotten one this season, maybe. So intrigued where that could lead, but there's a hint of a big story for Gunn, which I'm excited about. And yeah, he was dealing with his insecurities, because he thought if he's losing that, what does he have? He thinks his worth is now defined by his lawyer stuff and all that knowledge that he can bring. That's what he's been bringing to the group since they went to Wolfram and Hart. He's been the one who's always actually been quite comfortable working there. So the idea of that being taken away, and he doesn't have the self-esteem to believe who he was before was any good, because he thinks he's worth so much more now. Because we saw, like, end of season 4, he's very frustrated that he was just like the muscle, and he wanted to be a bit more. That's why Wolfram and Hart was so appealing to him, when they kind of saw a bigger place for him. The idea that his worth is taken away, that's going to bring out insecurities in him, and leads to this deal, I would assume, whatever deal he may have made, helping out the guy smuggle some dodgy shit, I don't know. I'm sure we'll explore that a bit further. So again, just his own insecurities causing some dodgy stuff to go down, I would assume, and he's channeling his insecurity into a deal and into his knowledge. Like, it's kind of, what his insecurities go away because of knowledge that isn't his own, that he's learned himself, being planted in his head. It comes from someone else. So the fact that is his worth, that's what he sees as his worth, knowledge that he didn't even himself learn and kind of earn, in a sense, is actually quite sad. And you just see how insecure and how lacking of self-esteem Gunn is as well at the end of the day, and how low he would be without that. It's actually quite sad, because Gunn's cool, he's great, he was great before and he's great now. So yeah, that could be an interesting story for him, so I'm excited to see where that's going to lead and where they explore that. And then yeah, we had the whole Fred, Knox, Wesley thing. Knox was obviously jealously watching them, so I'm guessing he's going to cause some shenanigans later on down the road for them. And I'm not looking forward to that. I've never quite been able to trust him. So maybe that is going to be proved right if he acts against Fred and Wesley here and tries to do something to sabotage them or whatever, I don't know. But it's Buffyverse. I'm just going to enjoy the happiness that Fred and Wesley have for now, because it's not going to last. I mean, in a very meta version, you know, knowing what I know about the final episode of Angel, what I got spoiled on, I know it can't last between the two of them no matter what, sadly. So, you know, something is obviously going to go wrong, and I wish I didn't have that full knowledge, but it is what it is. I got spoiled. So I just kind of have to enjoy what we're getting of it. And I like that they are exploring that dynamic, at least, for however long we have left of it. Because we have kind of gotten hints that Fred is leaning towards reciprocating his Wesley's feelings for her that he's had for a long time now. You know, I think he was like doing a spell or something a few episodes back, and she was like eyeing him up. So, you know, I like that they've been building up to this moment and tying that into him pushing Angel to like, oh, see that she's into you for goodness sake, but he couldn't see that, you know, the woman he wants to be with, you know, was now reciprocating his feelings. So I like the kind of irony and the comedy within that, and her trying to make all these excuses to spend more time with him and kind of blowing off Knox and trying to get him to go away so it could just be the two of them. Absolutely adorable. I do think Fred and Wesley are a very, very good match. So I am intrigued to see more of it, and I'm excited to explore that dynamic finally. Because, you know, I did enjoy Fred and Gunn together, but I am actually really quite excited for the idea of Wesley and Fred. I do think they're a very good pair. And if it can't be me, you know, I think it's good that it's Wesley. So, yeah, I'm glad that we're making waves, I guess, with that pairing, and that dynamic is shifting now when they're developing that and exploring that. That should be an exciting thing to delve into going forward. And yeah, it's kind of a nice punch to the air moment, because Wesley's kind of been, you know, it hasn't gone his way with Fred since like season 3, I think, was when it properly kicked off. I think it was like the Waiting in the Wings episode, which is still one of my favourite episodes of Angel. So after all this time, literally like over 2 seasons really later, he's finally gotten his chance. So hopefully nothing goes too horribly wrong, but you know, I've learnt at this point that nothing lasts forever. Every relationship will die in the Buffyverse. So I'm kind of cautiously excited, you know, but on a very meta level about what I know about the finale, and just what I know about Buffyverse couples in general thus far. I'm just taking what I can get while I get it, before the inevitable pain and destruction. So we'll see where we'll see where it leads. But I am excited for the future of that pairing and what they're going to do with it now that it's finally happened. I am a big Fred and Wesley shipper, so excited for that. And yeah, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about, I believe. But yeah, fantastic episode. I loved what they did with it. The kind of spookier, horror, grotesque elements of the puppetry, but also really leaning into the comedy aspects of it, really going there when they needed to go there with like the more bizarre sequences. Like, yes, we know this is fucking crazy and stupid and bonkers, but we're just owning it, and I think that really helped the episode work. So yeah, I can imagine people either really loving this or utterly hating it. I think that I don't know if there's going to be as much of a middle ground with this one, because, you know, it's a high concept episode in a way, and yeah, you're either going to love the concept or you're going to hate it, I think. But I like that they went there with it, they gave it a go, and for me, I think it really paid off. I loved this episode, easily one of my favourites of the season so far. I think this and You're Welcome are definitely very, very high on the list. So yeah, this was fantastic, absolutely hilarious. And I've got a new best friend to put on the shelf behind me. I imagine that's where he'll live. I need to find a space for him. Maybe he'll go with the Buffy stuff there. Maybe I can squeeze him in there somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, that was such a great episode. I loved it. Thank you again to whoever sent me this incredible guy. I'm very, very humbled to have actually been sent something so amazing in like a limited edition thing. Like, I will take very good care of him, I promise. This is awesome. And yes, I adored this episode. Glad it was worth the wait to open the parcel that I've had since like June. Nearly half a year of waiting. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything for now. So, yes, we have 8 episodes left of Angel, I think. Bonkers. And yeah, that's obviously going to be the next cycle. We'll be doing episodes 15 and 16. So I will see you for those, I guess. But yeah, fantastic episode. Loved it so much. Absolutely bonkers. But one I'm definitely going to be thinking about for a long time. One I'd love to do a drunk rewatch too, but not because it's a terrible episode, but because I think it'd be so much bloody fun to watch drunk. So maybe we'll do that at some point as well. But yeah, this was amazing. I loved it. And that's going to be everything for now. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.